The surface of Lake Titicaca covers 5,000 square miles of the Andes. It's the highest lake in the world. The lakeside town of Copacabana is a half-day's travel north from the Bolivian capital, La Paz. The Spanish colonized Bolivia 450 years ago. As important as the wealth they took away was the religion they brought with them. Copacabana is a very important place for Catholics. Miracles happened here, and there's a shrine to the Virgin in the cathedral back there. But also, you're expected to do a pilgrimage if you come here in honor of the Virgin, past the Stations of the Cross. This is number 3, up to the top of the hill, Cerro Calvario here. And as I started at just over 12,500 feet, it's a test of faith, I tell you. A test of other things, too. My body is not yet happy living life at 2.5 miles above the sea. At this height, oxygen is less easy to absorb. Every step I take requires 40% more effort than at sea level. The scenery, mind you, is at least 40% more spectacular. My efforts are rewarded by a personal audience with the dark Virgin of the lake. Her miracles brought fame and fortune to Copacabana. The Spanish Catholics were not the first to sense the spiritual qualities of this place. Before them, the Incas believed that the sun god himself, creator of the world, sprang from the bottomless blue waters of Lake Titicaca. The lake straddles the two countries of Bolivia and Peru, and at San Pablo Tiquina, its narrowest point, there's a ferry service. Vehicles go on one boat and foot passengers on another, both under the beady eye of Don Eduardo Avaroa, whose likeness on the quayside must qualify as one of the world's least impressive statues. It's a gesture of defiance rather than glory, for in the war that it commemorates, Bolivia lost its entire Pacific coastline to Chile. The people here are less Spanish than the Chileans. More than half the Bolivian population is pure Indian. On the other side of the water lies the nerve center of the Bolivian Navy. Undaunted by the loss of their entire coastline, they maintain a strong presence on the Bolivian half of the lake. This is the Portsmouth of Lake Titicaca, and some of the fleet, at least, is in. These modest patrol boats may only be needed to keep an eye on smugglers, but they're symbols of Bolivian hopes that one day their Pacific property will be returned, and Lake Titicaca will no longer be their only coastline. The boats that have plied the lake for most of its human history were made from tortora reeds. They still grow in thick, lush beds around the shoreline. The skills of the Indian boat builders are kept alive by the Esteban family. The head of the family, Paulino Esteban, helped the Norwegian explorer, Thor Heyerdahl, construct 2 reed boats, which they sailed across the Atlantic. See, this is from the reed as well. The same reed that you make the boat from, you make the twine from. Yeah.
Esta.
Ah, yeah.
Ana se llama.
Esta, yeah.
Ana. Esta. Anna.
Ah, that's the before and after, yeah.
Yeah.
Years of experience, yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, that's beautiful. Wow.
Más
Yeah,
fuerte.
strong enough to sail the Atlantic. And this is what normal ships would have, rivets. You just have this twine which holds the whole lot together.
Hey. Hey.
Yeah. Are we going to test it?
No ruby.
Yeah, test it. Whoa.
I ask if I can test drive one of his boats. We don't have time to cross the Atlantic, but Paulino offers me a trip round the bay.
Yeah, and about the middle. Oh, it's very, very precarious. Bueno, aquí. Ah, right. Yeah, ooh. That's a great waterborne sofa.
A boat like this costs $40. On the lake, no extras. It doesn't waste fuel, costs nothing to run, and is made from constantly renewable resources, which I suppose explains why they're dying out. Unfortunately, there are no boats to take us across to Peru. We shall have to drive to the frontier at Casani. Once we have crossed, we shall run along the Peruvian shore to catch a train from Juliaca, which will carry us over the Andes to Cuzco. A dirt road gives way to a cobbled road, which vibrates us gently through the village of Casani towards our 14th international border.
Well, this may look like the entrance to a farmyard, but actually this chain separates Bolivia from the rest of the world, or in this case, from Peru. I must say, in all my travelling, it's the least daunting border I've come across, but still, chain or no chain, formalities have to be gone through.
Because we're the only people crossing out of Bolivia, they're delighted to see us and make sure the formalities last as long as possible. Four hours later, there's absolutely nothing more they can think of to keep us here. Our chain is removed and we're released into Peru. Our first stop in Peru is the port of Puno, home to 3 of the original Lake Titicaca steamboats. One of them is being restored by an Englishwoman called Muriel Larkin. Her family were once Clydeside shipbuilders, and it's still in the blood. She spends a few months in Peru every year and lives on board.
Hello? Hello? Anyone aboard?
Hello,
oh, hello, Muriel.
Michael.
Palin.
Very
yeah,
nice
yes.
to see you.
Nice to
Welcome
see you.
aboard.
Thought you might be out on the lake cruising. Or
Well,
something.
we're going to. Give
moored
us
up
another
there.
year and we'll be there.
How did the ship originally get here to Lake Titicaca?
It was meant for promoting the area,
Yeah.
bringing out the local produce.
yeah.
And they brought it in pieces, and each piece had to be designed in such a way that a mule could carry it.
Yeah.
The maximum a mule could carry was about 400 pounds. So having designed that and built it and packed it in packing cases, they brought it all the way to Arica,
So that was how many pieces?
2,766.
So all these bits, and they're very heavy. This is real sort of solid
All iron.
cast iron. Was on mules back over the Andes. How long did that take?
Well, it took about 6 years.
Yeah. Can we have a look around? 'Cause I
Yes,
know
please
that's
do. Why not?
She's doing the
Come up
kit and
to the
Should we have
bridge.
Muriel hopes that the Yavari, named after a local river, will soon be restored to her former glories, which were considerable.
I want to show you, well, this is the original binnacle here.
Brass, yeah.
Yes, lovely.
Yeah.
And the wheel is in the museum in Arequipa, so we hope to get that back.
Yeah.
And that, this is the original chain steering This chain led out through that hole there, and the other one went out through there and went right back to the stern, to the propeller.
Yeah. Oh, right.
So the wheel had sort of direct...
Pretty heavy wheel to turn.
Heavy wheel.
Had to move that chain each time.
That's right.
Yes,
That's
yeah.
right.
Okay,
So,
shall we see a bit
Yes,
go below?
let's go below.
Okay.
The machinery is a little more sophisticated down in the engine room and only 80 years old.
Old brass and copper fittings.
This actually was installed in 1913. It's a Swedish Bollinger, 4-cylinder.
Is it a steam
hot
engine?
bulb, semi-diesel. It's a semi-diesel actually, but it replaced the steam engine that the ship was equipped with originally.
Yeah.
And that proved so unsatisfactory. It would run on dried llama droppings. It was the only fuel available up here.
Really?
So the first thing the crew had to do when they reached any little port was to hurry ashore with their bags and fill them up and fill up the cargo hold, which was meant for the cargo. So they had to extend the hull.
With llama droppings?
Yes,
Sorry,
with
llama
llama droppings.
droppings,
Llama droppings,
Yeah.
yeah.
They still use them for fires
For
and heating?
fuel, yeah, yes, very much so. Let me take you down to the aft deck.
Okay.
You're looking at the hull. We're very lucky, actually, because being iron,
Yeah.
and because of the altitude and because of the lake being fresh water, the corrosion is absolutely minimal. So it's in really good
So it's
condition.
in good shape,
Yes,
yeah.
excellent.
On behalf of all those mules that carried it over the Andes, I can only hope Meriel gets the support she needs to relaunch the Yavari. Next day, we have considerable trouble launching ourselves out of Juliaca station. Our Cuzco-bound train seems to have been waiting for an awful long time. Rumours abound.
Well, it could be a bit of a problem here, because we've just heard that there's not a strike, but a go slow, which of course is the worst thing for us, because if it's a strike, we can all stay at home and go to bed, but it's going to be a go slow. The journey's 12 hours anyway, so we'll see what happens. It could be a lot longer than that. More information as it arrives.
Despite the sunshine, it's midwinter in the southern hemisphere and bitterly cold. Men wear modern jackets, but the women keep warm with traditional shawls and layers of skirts. An air of lethargy hangs over Juliaca station. Nobody's going anywhere. Then, suddenly, the stillness is broken by an orgy of shunting. It's hard to tell what's go slow and what isn't. In a situation like this, it's do as the Romans do. Climb aboard and hope that the sheer weight of demand will persuade them to run the train. And it works. A few hours late maybe, but we're on our way to Cuzco. Armed guards are a reminder that terrorism is still taken seriously in Peru. Shining Path guerrillas were once active here. But you're never far away from a market in South America, and where there's a market, there's usually a fiesta. Around lunchtime, we pull into a station, and not a moment too soon. This isn't the kind of train that has a restaurant. If you want a hot meal, it has to be platform food. There doesn't seem to be much around. I've been up since 5 o'clock. I need more than a stuffed llama.
Getting a bit hungry now. Asado? Ooh. Oh, a little tasting first. Perfectly done. Very good roast lamb. Can I have a little bit? Be very good. No, don't worry about them. It's me there. Roast lamb in brown paper. Oh, thank you. Complete Sunday lunch. How much? ¿Cuánto es?
¿Cuánto es?
Cinco.
Cinco.
Cara
Cinco.
claro.
There we go. Hey, don't bother them. Hey, oh, that's very expensive. That he sort of like grabbed by a parrot. He's never been assaulted like that before. There's 5, look. And leave him alone, please. To the borders of Colombia, where it is the Amazon River. So this is where the big
Evil of the earth. They made it the center of their worship of the sun until the Spanish conquerors arrived and stamped their own mark on the city. We've arrived by chance in the middle of the Catholic festival of Corpus Christi. The Spaniards are caricatured as having wide hats, long moustaches, big noses, and drinking problems. The fact remains that fewer than 200 Spaniards overthrew the Inca Empire. Now a largely Indian population parades the statues of European saints.
This is the most important Catholic celebration in Cusco, which involves the whole population.
Yeah.
You know, everybody participates in this celebration.
What is happening? Well, they're each bringing their own statues.
Each bring their own statues, and they are taken to the main square, and they're taken to the church, and then brought out in a procession around the square.
They look incredibly heavy. I mean, there were
They
50
are
people
half a
came.
ton, or some of them could weigh almost 1 ton.
What are they made of? I mean, is
Made
it
in
real
wood,
silver?
wood and plaster.
Yeah.
But the support is silver.
Right, a silver
Lined
base.
with silver, yes.
So who carries them? Who are the people?
People from the different parishes.
Yeah.
People who stay close to the church.
Yeah.
And they think that by participating in this, they are going to be blessed and they're going to be protected.
And there's a lot of... Are they vying with each other? I mean, the bands seem to be playing against each other.
Yeah, they seem to follow the rhythm of the band.
Yeah.
Yes.
Extraordinary thing to see.
Yes,
Really.
and people fight, struggle to be one of those.
Yeah, well, I mean, just then we were...
Bearers, yeah.
we were being pushed out of the way. It's very serious
Right.
business.
It is ironic that much of the weight that makes these effigies so painful to carry is made up of the precious metals that the Spanish once looted from the city. When all the saints have been paraded into all the churches, my companion Wilbur and I have the square more or less to ourselves.
Well, quite out of breath after all that. That was a great stroke of fortune. But now you can see the square sort of cleared a bit.
Yeah.
What is the square sort of mean? Was this originally Inca?
Yes, this was the former square of the Incan city. And you know, Cusco was the capital.
Yeah.
So the palaces of the Incan rulers were arranged around this square.
What we've just seen.
Yes.
The Incas would have made their own ceremonies like that here.
Yes, something similar to what we have seen now.
Different religion.
Different religion.
The Spanish not only grafted their festivals onto existing ceremonies, but built their churches on top of Inca temples. The Inca walls have withstood all the great earthquakes that have shaken the city, and many of Cusco's streets are still built on Inca foundations. Spanish colonial architecture is better preserved in Cusco than almost anywhere else in South America. But I'm leaving all this behind for the day and taking a taxi ride out beyond the city to the old Inca heartlands.
Gracias. Gracias. Muchas gracias aquí. Sí, gracias. Facebook working. Gracias. Farms.
We're heading towards the Sacred Valley, a fertile buffer zone between Cuzco, the mountains, and the jungle beyond. Watered by the Urubamba, fields produce 360 varieties of potatoes and rich crops of maize and barley. Farming here is not high-tech. Horses are still used for threshing. Those sheaves of barley have been successfully fitted with legs. At the end of the valley, where the river disappears into dark ravines, the Incas built granaries high on the side of the mountains, where the grain would be kept cool, dry and safe. They built a temple too, and a system of terraces from which, in 1536, the army of Manco Inca gave the Spaniards a rare bloody nose. All this served an empire that lasted little more than a century. Up a side valley, a road laid less than 2 years ago leads to villages where the purest descendants of the Incas still live. They raise llamas, or llamas as I must learn to call them. They live in stone-walled houses with thatched roofs. They dress as they have done for hundreds of years and still speak the language of the Incas. This must have been how it was before the Spaniards came. The women here use modern dyes to enrich the colours, though the method of spinning and weaving hasn't changed for centuries. Things will change much faster now the road is built. Electricity has arrived and a new school is promised. The outside world has found them out, and for the people in these remote mountains, the future could be very different. The Pacific coast of Peru is largely barren and thick with cold sea mist at this time of year. So we've chosen to go north by an inland route. It will take us up the Amazon River system to the jungle city of Iquitos, and from there by boat to the borders of Colombia. Then we shall have to cross the Andes one last time to reach the north coast of South America. We're going to need a lot of help. I've been given the address of a pub in Cuzco run by an Englishman who now lives in Peru. In between pulling pints, Barry Walker runs a travel outfit, and he's prepared to take us on.
What are we in for in the route?
A lot of adventure. It's going to be a bit arduous, I think. It's a route.
We've been in mountains really up to now, almost all the way up from Cape Horn. So I suppose we're going down into almost to sea
Well, what
level.
we're going to do is we're going to slide over the east slope down through the cloud forest, basically, following a major river, a major Amazon tributary, but it's very little traveled. Very few foreigners do the route. Yeah.
And what's the conditions like? Sort of
Hot, humid, sticky, buggy.
But you know it well,
but beautiful.
which is good, do you?
Well, no. In fact, I've never been down that river before, and I'm quite looking forward to it. I'm glad you decided to do it, because it'll be a new experience for me.
I've been here before. Someone who's never been there. Well, cheers anyway.
Well, cheers.
Cheers to it. We'll both learn something.
If the boat doesn't turn over, we'll make it. We'll have a beer in Pucallpa.
Our adventure begins almost conventionally on a train out of Cuzco bound for Quillabamba, 100 miles north. Not that any train in the Andes is ever conventional. The line runs out of Cuzco in a series of zigzags, for the sides of the navel of the Earth are very steep. The city itself lies at 11,000 feet, and we have to climb another 1,000 feet just to get out of it. Our speed is so leisurely that local children have time to get on and off and work the coaches. The city slips away and village life takes over.
All human life is here, Barry, this train.
Yes, local train to Quillabamba. Everyone uses it. It's their only means of transport on this stretch.
I wish there was, wish they had smell-o-vision, because there's a wonderful sort of odour of onions pervading the coach. Why is that? Is it just local speciality?
We've just come through the onion town, Anta, which is very famous for the onions it produces. So they've all been loaded on here to go further down the line.
Well, most of them are up here, actually.
I think most of them are around our seat, actually.
So we go on to Quillabamba.
Yep, end of the train line is Quillabamba.
Yeah.
That's where we leave the train, and but after that we've still got 7 or 8 hours on very rough roads to get to our boats.
You say that with a slight smile, Barry, which I don't think becomes you.
It's a rough road. It's a rough road.
Around Machu Picchu are good at keeping secrets. Only the cloud on their summits indicates the rainforest that lies beyond. The railway ended at Quillabamba. We're now on our way to Kiteni, where the road ends. Alongside us, the Urubamba is wider and stronger. As we drop down into the foothills of the Andes, the bare brown fields of the high plateau are a fast receding memory, and the heat is back. At the end of a long day, we reach the end of the trail. The grubby little settlement of Kiteni, where the main street is a patch of waste ground and there's a whiff of sewage in the air. Kiteni is the highest navigable point of the Urubamba. From here, the river makes a sharp right turn and flows due north. About 50 miles upstream, it passes out of the Andes and into the Amazon basin. But first, we must negotiate rapids that run through a ravine known to the Indians as the Pongo de Manaique. We've watched the Urubamba growing from a muddy bog in a mountain field to a river that will be our way home. The hand-picked boatmen pack all we need to be self-sufficient. For the next 8 days, we will be eating, sleeping, and tackling the white water together.
There's the old generator.
Is he taking our boat?
Yes, he's driving us.
Great. What, 2 men per boat, is it?
2 men per
Yeah.
boat, yeah. One on the front,
Yeah.
indicating in the tricky bits the
Yes.
route.
Right, yeah.
We've got the spare motors, I'm pleased to say. We brought 1 for each boat plus 2 spares, just in case.
What, the spare outboards?
Yeah,
God, really?
yeah.
Where are they? I don't
Under
see
that green
them. Oh,
tarp
right, yeah,
there.
yeah. Nearly there, Barry. The water is only about 10 yards away now.
I think this is the most nervous part of the trip for me. I've read so many accounts of early explorers. I'm a bit nervous, I must say, going down here, but the boatmen say it's going to be okay, so hopefully it will be.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited. I am excited.
Well, so
because,
am I.
We've got
I'm
to
so
get
am
closer
I.
and closer. I just want to go. I want to go.
Soon after 10 in the morning, on a grey, rain-beckoning day, my wish comes true. We set out on what are for most of us completely uncharted waters. And just to make me feel a little more nervous, Barry makes me don a life jacket.
What's happening here? It's got very narrow.
The landslides come in here, so this is a bit dodgy here.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Here we go. Woo. That's the side that's just come away.
Yeah, look at this. Whoa, big wave, watch out. Windy.
Conditions on the river can change quickly from docile to lethal. If there's too much water flowing, the boats can be swept out of control. If there's too little, rocks and shoals close to the surface can flip us over.
Wow, just missed a rock by skin of our teeth there.
Whatever the state of the water, Gustavo looks reassuringly calm. A tiger heron couldn't care less. There seem to be a few more rapids than we were promised. Whenever I ask if we've reached the Pongo, Gustavo smiles inscrutably and shakes his head. Halfway through the day, we pass into the territory of the Machigenga Indians. They stand and watch us from villages built where the rainforest has been cleared. I wave, but they don't wave back. Maybe it's understandable. On tributaries higher up the river, there are Indian tribes who have only just come into contact with white men. As we draw closer to the Pongo, the clouds build up, the trees grow taller, and Barry comes over all ornithological.
It's a bit of a bird safari for you, isn't it, as well? Is that really the main reason you're so excited about doing this new bit of river for you?
Not particularly the birds, actually doing a new river, but the birds are very interesting here. I mean, right where we are, there are more species of bird per square mile than anywhere else on the planet.
Yeah.
Peru has about 1,700 species, and a lot of them are concentrated in this forest here.
Are there any bird species that are you would call intelligent in the sense they interact with man? Is it?
I think perhaps the parrot family are perhaps more intelligent than the rest. They seem to catch on to things pretty quickly.
Hello, miss. I have this parrot that I bought not half an hour ago, and it's very boutique. Yeah, we know all about that.
Ahead of us, the Pongo is looking more and more like the entrance to some dark and threatening tunnel. The river turns from glassy smooth to fast and slippery as the level falls sharply and we begin to slide down the last few miles of the Andes. Then, just as I think we're being incredibly brave,
Yeah, that's the way to go.
Probably our weight. He just is completely unanchored, just on a four-pole balsa raft.
I don't think I'd like to go that way.
Just balancing himself. Well, I feel more secure now. No, we're in a wooden boat.
I'm glad you do. Oh, no.
These are still the approaches, is that right?
Oh, yeah, this is okay. This is the tip. And it's like this,
Yeah.
15 minutes of whirlpools and turbulence.
Here we go. It is the start now. These great, tall,
Here we go,
sheer
yeah.
walls. It is extraordinary. It's a sudden change of the landscape. Suddenly sheer. And it's raining.
Look at that, isn't it incredible?
as if to offer us one last warning of mortality, one final reminder of who's boss, the elements mix together a fierce cocktail of wind, rain, and foaming current. Glistening granite walls loom ahead like slowly closing doors.
It's a tricky one, Barry.
Yeah, he's got to get it just right here. If he messes up here, we could be into that rock or into that rock.
Yeah. Very narrow now, isn't it? This whole river just squeezed in.
Squeezed in. It's getting narrower up ahead, too. This must be just incredible in the rains.
It's the fact the rock is black, the weather's clouded over, it's beginning
Misty.
to drizzle. It's like someone described them as the gates of hell.
I expected the Pongo to be dangerous, but never to be so beautiful. Rocks which look as if they've been blasted apart rise from the river like the buttresses of some half-submerged cathedral. After the noise and chaos of the rapids, the river has fallen still and quiet. The only sound is from the water pouring out of the jungle, carving a weird and wonderful architecture on the canyon walls. In the Pongo de Manaiki, I feel I've come as close as I ever will to a lost world. The dramatic beauty of the Pongo passes in less than half an hour. The current that was so angry now sweeps us imperiously past the last two granite portals and out of the Andes. Gustavo, magnificently unimpressed, is already looking for a campsite. I'm afraid I'm not much help. A sandbank, hopefully free of jungle creepy crawlies, is chosen as our home for the night. River travel, I've decided, is 1% beauty and 99% practicality. The need to eat, sleep and dry out plays havoc with your sense of wonder. As darkness wraps itself around us and our camp seems to shrink to a tiny speck in the Amazon rainforest, I feel a distinct need for the cocktail cabinet.
Well, Barry, celebrate the passing of the dreaded, Pongo.
Yes, indeed. Whoa, yeah, that's
You know how
fine.
things are sort of built up in your mind. I've been worrying about it for the last 3 nights. It's
Well,
rather
so have I.
ridiculous, really.
Yeah, I mean...
For a while, I labour under the pleasant delusion that I'm through the worst. Then the doubts come flooding in.
Are there any nasty things lurking about in the bushes or in the forest? Animals, wild animals, crocs, anything like that around
You'll
here?
hear lots of noise. Yeah, we have caimans here, which are members of the alligator family. They're around here, but they're normally in the water in the evening and come out on the beaches during the daytime. And I definitely wouldn't provoke any jaguars.
Well, how do you not provoke a jaguar? Just go out. Hello, you're extremely nice jaguar. But all the animals, I think you're severely underrated, jaguars. I mean, leopards, they get all panthers, they get all the publicity, black panthers, leopards. All you've got is a car firm that almost went into liquidation. It was saved by Ford, wasn't it? Or now sold to BMW. I don't know. It's been sold to McDonald's since I was away. It's like insect corner in here, isn't it? Hello, on insect corner tonight. We have 43 types of moth, 4 bugs and a sandfly. Anyway, cheers. Here's to a good first day's travel.
Yeah, here's to getting through the Pongo.
Yeah, getting through the run at this rate. Ooh, actually, rum and horseflies, damn good.